Before we start our session, I want to just give you some brief update. Today we'll talk about our partner academy, the type of different certifications which Anthropic is just open for everybody. And then we are starting our cohort where we'll work with selected people. They'll learn with us, they'll go through the exam preparation, and then they'll apply for it. And this will be like our continuous cohort each month. So next month, we'll do the same thing. And we have built lots of tools for preparing for the exam. Like we have our learning operating system. We built a plugin. Everything will connect to your cloud code. And then cloud code will start asking questions and act as a mentor so that it generates new questions on the topics based on the certification you are going through. So it will be a constant exam partner. Then we meet on Friday. We'll discuss about one particular topic and how to use those tools to prepare for the exam. Then on Saturday, Sunday, you just work on your own pace. Monday, we meet again and have an accountability call. So if you have some questions, you can ask. If something is blocking you, we can work together. So this is the weekly cycle of the cohort. So it goes for 4 weeks. If you have some question, you can ask me right away while we are waiting for them. So like we are going to launch it, but not right away. If people are registering through us and they are getting their exam and they are passing it, and if they are available to work, then we will have them as our own team members. We are generating leads, and the more people we have as Claude certified on our team, then Anthropic will give us leads. Like we can deliver as an official Anthropic partners. And that's where we need more certified people to work with us. So that's certified associate track. But the certification is prerequisite for it. Yeah. We are also preparing for our certification. So we'll work with each other, we'll study with each other and help. Because this is not an easy exam. Like it's very competitive. We were testing our own certification mentor plugin, and the type of questions, it was like way difficult than any generic exam. That's why it becomes very valuable if you are competitive enough to get certified. You already are a valuable asset for any business, or you can run your own business. You can go for jobs. So we are also partnering with enterprises who are developing cloud solutions into their company. So I have a list of around 8,500 companies now who have adopted the technology. So we are reaching out to them in a way that we are running this cohort. And if somebody is getting certified, can you hire them? Because they need it. We are already inviting their team to cohort also. So it's both way. Either they can send their team members and we can train them, or anyone can join our cohort and get those trainings. I'll start with the type of certification. So this is the Anthropic Partner Academy, and you cannot access it right away. You need a partner or email ID. So this is what I launching register or create. So I created this. You can create an account because I'm a Anthropic partner. So it will give you my company domain like this one, the talentwarehouse.com. Let's say talentwarehouse.com. Then you use that email ID, come to the partner, this Anthropic partner skill jar, log in with that. It will send you an OTP on the email which you used with me, like whatever Gmail, use Gmail to create an account here. Then everything will happen in background. And whenever Anthropic is sending you any OTP, it will come to your Gmail account, which you use to register here. Let's say if you're already working with a company who is already a partner, then you don't need it. You can register it. You can join this academy directly with your company's emails. But if you don't have, then you can reach out to me. So for certifications, everything is here. So this is the certification: Certified Associate Foundations, Certified Architect Foundation, Claude Certified Developer Foundations, Claude Certified Architect Professionals. So basically, there are three, and one has two tiers like foundation and professionals. You see here. So it depends on what you do. If you are a developer, like you are computer science and you're coding, you have all this experience as a developer, then you go for developer route. If you, let's say, you're not developer, but you like connecting systems and you are more like designing the entire architecture. So you go for architecture foundation first. You cannot go directly with professionals. So you go with foundation. And if you like consultant, salesperson, marketing person who doesn't know about the systems like hostings, and there are lots of things happens behind the scenes to run the AI systems, right? Then you can just go for associate. For consultants, sellers, delivery leads, guide customers toward the right cloud use cases and set engagement up for success. So if you want to be a, let's say, cloud consultant, and so this is perfect for you. If you want to be a cloud developer, or you are for engineers who build with the cloud API, cloud code, MCP, from first integration to production agents, like you are in the deep technical fields, then this is for you. For partners who design cloud solution end to end, choosing deployment platforms, shaping agentic architectures, and planning for evaluation, cost, and safety. This is more like a product manager, program manager, those kind of roles where you have 360 view of everything. You're not just developing, you are looking around all the pillars it is connected to, right? So associate is just for consultant, developer is for developer, and architect is for, I think for architect, consulting is the first step. If you talk to your customer, you find use cases, then you design, okay, this use case can be delivered with this tool using these kind of integrations. You design everything and you pass it to the developer to actually implement it for you. So this is my understanding of what to choose. Me, John, and Andy, we three are choosing architect foundations for us. So let me know, like, which one you guys want to pick. Put in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I already have registered for. That's good. So this is no, pick one. No, you cannot go for developer and architect. Pick one. Are you a developer or an architect? First? Pick that first, because there's a cost behind it. Let me show you. If you go for Claude Certified Associate Foundation, this is $99, and for developer exam, it's 125. For architect foundation, it's 125. Are you a computer science guy? Okay, well, I choose. I have an engineering background and minor in computer science and graphic design. Then go for architect, brother. Architect is well rounded for you. It will have APIs and tools, all kind of things which developer has, but the role is not specific for developer. Like I have an engineering background, but I'm not a computer science engineer, so I'll go for architect. But I know AI. I'm in kind of an AI genius. I'm working on AI for last 5 years. So still I'm going for architect, not for developer. So once you are inside this platform using registration and those kind of things, then you go here and click on register for the exam, and you just review and pay. Once you pay for it, I haven't paid it. So next, I think it will book an exam with Pearson VUE. Then you go here, use the login. I think it will create a new this thing after you register for the exam. I'm not sure. I'll book and test it. So once you pay it, you get your credentials from Anthropic, and you just, then this is where you go for exam. So exam will be in person or online, but it will be proctored. Like you cannot cheat. It's serious exam. So let me go back. What do you do next after the associate foundation exam? There's no hierarchy in it. I'll go back once. So it's not like you start from here, go here, go here. It's not like that, right? So only this architect has two layers. Like if you got this foundation, so if you have architect foundation, then you go for professionals. But it doesn't matter if you have associate foundation, you can go for anyone. But I think that having one is depending on the kind of the role you have in the company or as your career domain expertise. Pick one and just go with it because it has to renew after every 12 months. If you go for the exam, let's say today, and you pass, it is only eligible for a year, the certification. Then you have to go again next year. This is as per the current rules. And they just opened it this July 8th. Before that, I did have access to the exam and all kind of things. So pick one and just run with it. Next year you can renew as architect foundation. Like it depends on the kind of understanding you have, the kind of opportunities you are getting. And I think this is best for people who are already in the job force. If you are working with any company in the world, this will level up you. And this is how we can work together. Certified Associate. Right? So we collaborate with you as a Claude ambassador for our lab. We work with you. We deliver the technical parts, training and stuff. And you become our point of contact, distribute our knowledge, and help us implement in your team. This way, let's say we are not hiring you, but still you can collaborate with us and we'll share revenue with you, those kind of things. Like opportunities will be there. It's endless. It's 4 month old, but effectively these three things are just 2 weeks old. So they are figuring out based on the feedback the partners are giving them, right? So we are very early adopters. After 6 months, it will be like everybody is talking about it. But benefit is having it in the start, like the early you get it, the early you attract all the opportunity inside your team or outside your team. It's all about upskilling at the right time. So this is the process. Pick one, pay to Anthropic directly. We are not charging for any commission. I'm just letting you in here, the partner academy without having a partner company, right? Then the question which was Mr. Murthy asked that exploring how to improve my confidence to pass exam. Like, we're also like the same point. That's why we thought, okay, let's start the cohort. So this cohort is basically to solve this problem. Like you can register for exam, you know which path you want to take. Next is how you want to learn it. And we are at the same point right now. We as a team also like what to do and what tell me the next step because I also have phobia of exams. Like I have MBA and things, but when it comes to exam, I'm afraid and all kind of things comes back to me and I keep avoiding it. Then we thought, okay, let's go for a month, learn with each other. We are like taking all these courses and preparation guide. Then we prepared a second brain. We connected to the cloud and you can ask about exam, ask about topics directly to your cloud. And that's what make me feel like, okay, wow, this way I can still learn. Like always working on cloud 24/7. If I'm learning about exam and cloud right away there, like I don't need to read books. I don't need to watch hundreds of videos. Then I'm fine. And this July 8th, Anthropic team said there's no prerequisite. Like you don't need to watch hundreds of videos. You don't need to have specific degrees or qualification. You can directly go here and book an exam and just do it. It's that open now, right? And he will show you the live demo of how our learning operating system cert mentor, how will you get access to that in the cohort, but we are not opening it for at everybody. It is part of Cohort, and Cohort is like 97 one time for entire month. So I'll share this link with you guys. You can book your slot, and we'll kick it off on 7th of August. Right? So because first Friday is 7th August. 7th August we'll come and talk about more details, onboard you with all the tools and things we are building for this exam. It has all the information from Partner Academy, from my partner calls with Anthropic. I have all those transcripts, and so that we don't miss any information. It's not humanly possible for me to go through each document and transfer that knowledge. And that's not a beneficial act from my end. Our goal is to be certified. Once we are certified, our job is done. Before that, I don't want to teach you about what the exam is, those kind of things. I'll put everything into one thing and connect it to your Claude. And you can just, whenever you have some questions, ask your Claude. Whenever you want to feel like, let's quiz me, it will quiz you, it will find the weak spots. Okay, this topic is weak, that topic is weak. It will teach you more about it. We are making it more interactive now. So it will create guides specifically for you. To understand how you work, you to understand your previous experiences. So it designed this curriculum for you the way you want to learn. And that is powerful. We are betting on our operating system more than the certifications because we are like Andy and we are crazy about building operating system. We have sales operating system, marketing operating system, but that we are selling to businesses. We want to build something for this exam, and we ended up building our learning operating system. So Andy will share more about that. He will show us the demo now. So if you have any question about it, I'll stop posting because we want to make these workshops very exclusive now, will not be open for all. We wanted to convey, okay, what is psychic brain, what is this, what is that. We did it in last 3 months and all the videos are on YouTube. You can just go and watch them. But now, after this video, no video will be on YouTube. It will be only available for people who are joining our cohort. It is highly relevant to examination preparation. With this, and if we see, okay, this thing is working well, then we keep moving. We will run it for at least 3 months, and every month will be new participants. Like we joined the first one, but you still think, okay, I'm not there yet. You can join the next one on discounted. Like, will not charge you 97 if you've already paid us. This thing we are still figuring it out, but this is the overview of exam, how to register for it, how to learn with it, and what we are doing in our community to make sure that everybody get the benefit of it. And we might stop everything and focus on this because this is what level up our community also. It's not like you're not just getting sales templates, those agency templates. That's irrelevant now. That was good for the last 2 years when nobody knew about AI agencies. This field was new. Now most of them they might have deliver some projects. They might have done some sales. They know now what kind of documents I need to close the sales. So this year we started on leveling up. Okay, we focus on agentic AI and we focus only on one arena because in the starting of 3 months we were playing with OpenClaw, Hermes, this, that, every agentic tool. Then it's okay. Everybody is building those tools using Claude. Like why we are not just teaching about Claude? Why we are wasting our time on somebody outcomes generated through the main machine? That's why we focused. Then we got partnership approval. Then we got this exam registration powers. We just like 2 weeks back we got this. Okay, now our members can go for exam, and we're like, okay, just stop everything, stop teaching, and focus here and we make available all the videos so that we don't need to teach about those basic things anymore. And we'll be hyper focused on the exam templates because this will level up our knowledge also. This is the exam. Like paying for exam is always leveling up and using those knowledge to deliver projects and make money through job or maybe agency or as a freelancer, whatever the way you want. That's building business on top of your knowledge. So we already have those videos, like how to sell those things and stuff, how to use Copilot, lots of things. It's already in part of our school, but we are not talking about those. what we have already recorded. This will be live experience. Like will be helping it with live, and all the key information is already inside your cloud. Like you can ask Claude any question. We don't know more than Claude. That's for sure. Nobody knows more than Claude. So why don't we learn with Claude directly? So yeah. So that's like kind of a summary from my end. Andy, very soon later. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, do you want me to carry on, or
Now we can show us learning operating system, like how what the action behind it.
this is actually my favorite part of the whole sprints, the whole journey of trying to get certified, because this is actually what I'm using to get certified myself. So, and you've also seen Manoj, and I think I'm going to share a little bit of it with you guys. So just give me a second. Let me share my screen. So if any of this looks new to you, then welcome. This is probably your first time here, but this is Obsidian, right? So we built ourselves a little brain here. This brain contains all the information regarding what the certificate is, and we've kind of created our own knowledge base out of Claude certifications, out of like all the topics, all the domains that are going to be part of this certification. And we created what we call a learning OS, right? If you don't know what an OS is, an operating system, just see it as a layer that the AI sits on top of and allows the AI to kind of interact with all these folders, interact with all the skills and everything we have here. So I'm just going to explain it to you first before I start conversing with Claude, because Claude is actually connected to the OS right now. So this is what it does. Let me start here. So we actually built a self-paced study operating system for the certificates, right? For the Claude Certified Architects Foundation exam. So all you have to do is we're going to share this OS with you. And when we share this OS with you, all you do is just you copy it and you send your own Claude into it and you start using it from the beginning, right? So when you start from the beginning, it's going to ask you like your name, when you want to write the exam, and just a few questions, and then you start. So what it does is it actually scans your current level, your current understanding, if you have some knowledge of some of the concepts that are already part of the exams, or if you don't, right? So basically, it's just going to ask you some questions. It's going to test you with the real life exams, like the type of questions you're going to see in the exams. And when you answer a couple of them, I think just maybe 4 or 5, it then decides to like score you based on the questions. And now the ones that you're weak on, the ones that are you're kind of catching up on or you don't really know, it's going to generate study presentation, right? It's going to create like a study guide for you to actually study. So I'm going to walk you through it, but I just wanted to start by saying this part. So this is the Claude.md. If you know what the Claude.md is, it is the best thing that Claude is actually going to see when it starts, when we kickstart this OS, right? When we launch Claude, just like you see here. So the Claude.md is the first thing you're going to see. And as you can see, this is a learner self-paced study operating system. Is an ICM workspace. We've talked about ICM a couple of times in this folder. And it actually explains to Claude what it is here to do, and also gives Claude a folder map, right? A map that connects it to everything that is here. So basically, it also explains how to behave and how it's triggered and some other things like that. So without further ado, let me just show you rather than tell you. So I would say hi, and I'm just going to ask it to like, we're going to do a new setup, right? From scratch. So you see how it works. So all you need to do, just like the prerequisites of getting part of like getting in, is that you have to have the learning OS, right? So and you have to have Claude certification, right? So that's like where you're trying to get to. So if you're trying to get a certification, you need to have Claude subscription, at least the pro account, right? Because that's how you can get to use this, right? So, hi, welcome to Learning OS, your self-paced study system for the Claude Certified Architect Foundation exam. So I want to get the Architect's Foundation exam, right? So here's what I do, right? I'm just going to start. I'm going to start and it's going to run beginning of the session. So Let's get started. So as you can see, it's following the ICM routing. It's reading the layer 1 context. So it's reading this document. Let me show you. So if the learner is new or type start, run the setup, which is the questionnaire and every other thing. If the learner types continue, check their current stage below and then follow up from there. So these are some of the rules that I've given to it. So now, because we are trying it, I'm using it for the first time for you guys to see. I'm actually running the setup. So let's run the setup, and then you're going to see what is going to happen. So this is how you would use it if you were given access to the Learning OS, right? This is how you're going to use it. So we've put all our best skills in it. We've put all our learning data in it and every other thing. So all you just have to do is chat with Claude, right? And Claude is going to help you pass the certification. So it does it in 2 ways, right? First, it trains you with mock exam. And when you reach the cutoff point is, I think, 720, right? So when you score above 720, that is when it's going to say, okay, now you're ready for the exam. But if you fail below, if you fall below like 720, it's going to say, okay, I can see that these are your strengths and these are your weaknesses. Let me teach you all the topics under your weaknesses so that you can get better at it, right? So as you can see, I've already used it before. So yeah, okay. So there's already progress for Leonard Anderson because I've already done the setup and everything. How do you want us to continue? I want to start completely over so that you guys can see it in action. So I select start completely. So it's just going to start from the scratch. You're going to see me answer some questions, like just go through the onboarding, right? So you can see how it works. And if there's anything I'm not able to answer correctly, you're going to see how the AI is going to use those topics, right, to create its own slides, and is then going to show me to read them and then come back to answer the questions. So like that's how it kind of works. So any place that I'm weak at is going to create HTML or it's going to create like a slide for me, explaining those topics, giving me like flashcards, giving me like quizzes, and then tells me that, okay, now are you ready to attempt the question again? And I noticed that, myself and Manoj noticed that the more we use this Learning OS, this self-paced study partner, the better we become like every single day. And all you just have to do is probably spend an hour a day just trying yourself, like going at it, telling it, okay, I don't know this, or hit me with your best set of questions and stuff like that. So as you can see, it's reading everything. It has my profile. It has my baseline scorecard. It has my study plan and everything. It creates all of this and makes it personalized per user, right? So if you're someone that doesn't even know a single thing, right, it's going to start from the basic. It's going to start from the foundation. So all I just asked it to do is let's start everything from the top. That's why you see it's trying to run everything again from start. So it's clean slate confirmed. Okay, so great. So it's done, like taking out all my other stuff. And this is what you would see if this is your first time. So welcome to Learning OS. This is where you go from baseline to exam ready for the Claude Certified Architect Foundation exam, one focused step at a time. So let's get set up. What's your name? Why are you getting certified? And what's your target exam date? So I can say, so my name is Andy. Use my short form. I am getting certified to, let's say, to become a forward deployed engineer. And the exam date is 1st September. I want to write it. I want to write it with everyone after the final week, because it's going to be every Friday in August. So once we're done on last Friday, I'm going to write 1st September. Just a thing to encourage everyone to take the bold step. So told it my name, told it why I'm getting certified, and told it about the day I want to write the exam. So it's going to save that as my profile. Got it, Andy. Let me log that into your profile. Okay, it kind of figured out that I was talking about 1st September this year, and now it's putting that into my learner profile. So if you take a look at, where is it at? Stages, onboarding, and output. You see the learner profile here. So name Andy. Why is he certifying to become a for deployed engineer. This is exam dates and this is a start date. So it has created my profile, right? So why I'm opening this from Obsidian so that you can see everything in real time. That's how you're able to keep track of it. So yeah, profile has been written, running the post setup verification, and I'm going to show you what happens next. The clock code is doing its thing. Just wait. Okay. So as you can see, my profile has been set. So now it's going to do what we call the baseline diagnostic. So it's going to create a short mock across the 5 exam domains for architects, for Claude Certified Architect Foundation. And it's not like kind of like grading me. It's not going to be graded against me. So wrong answers are just like the map that tells me which domain to drill first, right? So what domain is it going to say, okay, let me fix that for you, right? So once we have the baseline scorecard, the OS is going to build the study plan in a priority order, right? So it's going to prioritize the weakest ones first. It's going to kind of drill me on the weakest ones first. And when I get really good at the weaker domain, it's going to go to the next domain, right? So when you're ready, type continue, and I'll take you to the diagnostic, which is stage 2. So stage 1 is the onboarding. Stage 2 is now the diagnostic to kind of see my current level. So diagnostic, continue. So it's going to route. So it's going to see that my profile exists, but I don't have a baseline scorecard yet. So that's why it's going to stage 2 to get the baseline. Like, where am I currently at? What's my current level, right? So, and mind you, we've built the learning OS with all the questions that do come out in the certification exams. So all the information is actually grounded from Anthropic, right? Every test, every concept that is being taught, everything. And because you're also using Claude to teach you, then you must be certain that you're using the same system that is going to give you the exam to learn, right? So I don't know if what other thing will give you as much confidence as this, but using the same tool that you're going to use to learn and then attempt to write the exam is all the requirements that I need. Like, it's all the confidence I need. So yeah, as you can see, run a full baseline mock on the certification coach, and then the engine has been mapped. Let me read the mock exam skill, right? To run a baseline and a progress skill to know how to like compute it. So how long should your baseline diagnostic be? I think 20 questions is fine. I'm just going to blaze through it. So 20 questions is going to go through 20 questions and tell me, okay, based on these 20 questions, I can see that your strength is in prompting, but you don't have strength in, like, let's say, agents, or you don't have strength in all that kind of stuff. So permit me to just answer it on the fly. So we just get things loaded. So it's taken 20 questions out of the bank, out of the question bank, and is going to use that to record me. So setting up the exam now. So domain 1, D1, and D2 loaded. Let me rate the remaining domains, domain 3, 4, and 5, so I can build the full 20 question exam. So it's just going to give me 20 questions for the architect, right? So we can also run this if you're not doing the Claude Certified Architect Foundation, if you're doing the non-developer certification and all those other ones. But I chose the Architect Foundation. So it's pulling from the bank of the Architect Foundation exams, and it's using that to test me with 20 questions, out of which it will say, okay, I can see your strength is in D1 and D2, but you don't really have D3. So I'm going to create study plan for D3 to ensure that you understand all the topics from D3. And then I'm going to ask you another set of 20 questions that relate to D3, that's domain 3. And if you pass it, then we go to the next domain that you aren't really strong at. So the whole point is trying to make you strong across all domains, up to the point that it's like, okay, let's do the main mock exam with all the questions, and let's see how far you can go. So you can see, this is question 1 out of 20. In your research system, an engineer proposes ending the coordinator's agentic loop whenever the model responses contains the phrase research complete. During your review, you're asked to recommend the correct termination mechanism. What should drive the loop first? Let's see. So the first option, so it gives you, this is exactly what you're going to see at the exam, right? So it's going to ask you a question, and you're going to pick the best option, right? It's quite tricky, but you have to know this before you pick it. So exit the loop when the AI response stop using its end turn rather than to use. Yeah, I think that's the first one. Keep the text expanded to a list, but cap the loop at 15. No. Instruct the model to emit dedicated done token as its final word. I think I'm going to go with A. It's not going to score me immediately. It's going to score after I'm done with the 20 questions. Oh, yeah. So I answered for A. It's going to pull out the second one, and then the third one, then the fourth one. I think you get the idea. Okay, so it's logged that. Next, a senior engineer added a rule that all data access must go through the repository layer, never raw SQL in controllers. And Claude Code follows it flawlessly on a laptop, but every other developer on the team reports the Claude generates raw SQL in the controller anyways. What should she do? Reward the rule with stronger, more explicit language so Claude weights it more heavily. Move the rule to her .claude into the project's root code and commits it. Yeah, that's basically it. So it's in her project.claude.md. So you're moving it to the root claude.md. So you see, there's some questions I just know it. Some questions I have to learn. So it's going to understand. And even if I fail everything, it's going to know that, okay, we have to take it from the top. So the third question, don't worry, guys, don't help me. I want to do it myself. So no options or no recommendations because I wanted to actually know my baseline, right? So question 3, your support agent exposes the get customer and lookup order, each carrying one line description. So these are basically like tools with descriptions. One retrieves the customer information, which is the get customer, and the lookup order retrieves the order information. So in production, about a third of order status questions trigger the customers first. So it's wasting a ton before the agent recovers. What's the best first step to fix the misrouting? I think you have to rewrite both instructions to add the input formats and stuff like that. So you have to rewrite the description. So 3 questions, like 17 to go. So the same way I'm doing it is the same way you're going to do it. You start with the onboarding first, put your name and your information, and then you do this one. Let's see. Your invoice instruction pipeline returns date as March 3, 2026 in one run. And okay, so the format it returns, the date is different. So one is going to do March 3, the other one is going to do like this, and the other one is going to do like this, despite a paragraph or formatting instruction in the prompt. So this is not like more prompt engineering. So how would you fix an agent response that keeps returning the dates differently? Because every single time that the agent runs, takes any subjective prompt and it sees it like different every time. So the schema accepts all 3 as strings. What's the most effective fix? Add 2 or 4 work examples showing invoices mapped to the exact desired date. Okay, that's cool. Lower the temperature to 0 so the model stops varying. No. Expand the formatting paragraph into a longer, more precise, more emphatic specification. The right required date format. Let's see. Expand the formatting paragraph into a longer, more precise, more emphatic specification of the required date format. I think this might be it. Or you can add 2 to 4 work example pairs showing the exact desired date format. Yeah, so examples to work. It's either one of these 2. Let's see. I think I'll go with this one. I'm taking my time to answer it to the best of my knowledge because I actually want to start using the Learning OS from now. And we're gonna make it available to everyone that taps in from Friday. A developer building the support agent notices at turn 25, the agent no longer knows the order number that the customer gave at turn 2. It's pretty normal. Even though the previous API call went fine, they ask why the API forgot. What's the accurate explanation? The API retains conversation state server side for about 5 minutes. And this conversation, I really don't know this one, but I'm just going to see. The message prompt persists between calls, but users turn to not. So early user provided details are dropped. No. The message's API are stateless. So application must be saying, okay, the history. The conversation state is stored per API key and a rotating key. Let's see. I'll go with the third one. The messages API is stateless, so the application must be sending a truncated history. Okay. That seems more like a logical explanation, but yeah. Compliance requires that no refund is ever processed without prior identity verification. Your system prompt must state this emphatically, and the rule holds in 99.5% of test runs, but the audit flags the failure as unacceptable. What is the correct? These are actual like Claude questions, guys. Actual Claude questions. So you write the rule in capital letters. lower the temperature. So it's not. I had a nightly reconciliation job that audits, refund, and flag any process. Yeah. I think I had a of prerequisite gates. Well, let me see, where are we right now? How many questions in? So I think I'm gonna try and limit it to, I'm just gonna answer it like randomly. Yeah. Before planning the Python tree migration, your agent is a full inventory of this. Context budget is tight, so everything says in. Which tool first? Let's say yep. I'm just going at it, guys, at this point, so that I can show you the next thing. 4 tags land in the team's queue based on the signal stated in each. Which one most clearly warrants starting in plan mode? Correct a misspelled word in a user-facing error during the... Now, this doesn't need that. Add a bounce check to the single function named in yesterday's scratch. Rename poorly named variable. This one doesn't need that. Migrate odds from server side to JSON. Okay, this might probably need. So it's logs and your extraction service prompt with respond only with valid JSON matching the structure and passes the reply. It works in testing, but in production, roughly one response in 40 average. But yeah. Here's extracted data, crashing the parser. What's the most reliable fix? Add a post-processing step that strips down the markdown and leading this. Okay, that's also good. Add do not include any text. I used to do that before, but that doesn't work. Define it to post input schema is the desired output shape and require the model to call it, which are a possible response. So I think adding the post-processing step will be the best option. I know I'm not going to like the results because the questions can be really tricky. So we're halfway there. Your research system is assigned as identify every undocumented integration and hidden dependency of this 15-year-old inventory platform. Nobody can operate there. Person advice. Each finding determines where to look next, which composition. The composition strategy works first. Okay. So I built a research system that is assigned this. So identify every undocumented integration and hidden dependency of like a 15-year-old inventory platform. A fixed pipeline enumerating every integration point the team already knows about. The scripted sequence. A dynamic adaptive decomposition. Okay, this one makes sense. Prompt chaining. Analyze each source file individually, then run a cross-file integration pass. A single deep dive prompt asking the model to list all. I think dynamic adaptive decomposition. So I think 9 more questions, and then it's going to give me a score. Okay. A web search sub-agent in a research pipeline hits a provider timeout partway through its assignment after collecting some result. What should you return to the coordinator? An empty result? No. A structured error report with the failure type, the query attempted, partial result, and suggested. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So 8 more questions. So that has been logged. So every question I'm actually attempting will be logged so you can see what was the wrong answer, what the right answer was, and stuff. So keep every sub-agent unblocked. A teammate configured all 4 research sub-agents, the one that does the search, analyze, the synthesize, and report with the system's full set of 18 tools. Tool selection accuracy has dropped, and the report agent now calls analyze document mid-reports instead of formatting the findings. Okay, so what's the correct redesign? So obviously he gave all the sub-agents all the tools, whereas he was supposed to give only the tools that were required. So restrict each sub-agent to 4 to 5 tools its role requires. Delegating out of scope needs to the coordinator. Okay. Keep all 18 tools, but reorder them. No. Add a system prompt to each listen. Nope. Add a system prompt to each of it. Nope. Keep the shared tool set, but raise the nope. So I think we'll just restrict because that's going to increase the accuracy. So I don't know if you're seeing some questions. I just answer them at the go. Some questions I have to read them like 2-3 times. That's just to explain to you that across all the domains, you have the ones that your strengths rely on and the ones that you probably don't know that much. A pipeline stage has code generate a feature implementation, and there in the same session, immediately review its own div. Reviews come back glowing, yet human reviewers keep finding real defects. The automated paths approve. What's the structural cost and fix? So the session is biased, obviously, towards validating its own code, review in a fresh independent instance. I think that's just the best way. Yeah. I think 7 more questions. You're drafting the criteria selection of a code review prompt for your pipeline. Which of the following is the best example of a well-formed review criterion? Okay, so flag a code comment only when the behavior it claims contradicts what the code actually does. Flag the comment that seems out of that seems. So anytime the agent is going to see that seems is subjective. So it's going to see each of these type of things like differently every run. Use professional judgment to decide whether each comment still adds value. Use professional judgments. Every time it's running, it's going to run that same call. It's going to use a different professional judgment from the last time. So this type of prompts don't usually work well. Flag comments unless you have low confidence. How do you determine low confidence? That doesn't work. So I think the best one is number one, because it says flag a comment only, right? So that's like a yes or no. Only when the behavior it claims contradicts what the code actually does. So that's a good review criterion. So I'll be using this tool, guys. So why do I know some questions? The truth is I've actually used it like for 2 days. And some of these questions, it has taught me, right? I would have opened the HTML so you see how it did it. But because we're starting afresh, I want you guys to see exactly what you see. If you're following me so far, that's great. I'm almost done. I think 5 more questions. Last week, your agent session built a rich understanding of the payment code base, dozen of files read, schema dumps, architectural conclusions. Over the weekend, a major restructure most of these models. You now need the agent to continue future work in that area. What do you do? Okay, resume the old session. The accumulated context is too valuable to discard. Start a fresh session seated with a summary of the prior session's durable conclusions. Fork the old conversation with the fork section so the original stays pristine while the branch absorbs the refactor. Resume the old and rely on the agent to know the developer. Okay. I think you start a fresh session seated with a structured summary of the prior session's durable conclusions. I think that like compacting. So if you did something within the week, over the weekend, you might want to just summarize so there's no context shorts. Okay. Okay. So 4 more questions. 2 engineers debate config scoping. One claims a directory level Claude MD and a roles file with platform front matters are interchangeably, but just limits where conventions apply. So whichever feels tight there, where is the actual distinction that decides which person fits a convention? Rules files are evaluated before the session starts, so they load faster than directory files. Directory Claude MD files stay on developer's machine, while rule files are committed and shared. A rule file might carry only a single Claude pattern, so multiple file conventions in each directory. The directories by location, by parts, of scope, by file. No, I'm just going to go with the last one. 3 more questions and we're good to go. Okay, next question. A delayed developer set up the staging database MCP server and it works perfectly in her Claude code session. But when 3 teammates clone the repository, the server does not appear for any of them. What went wrong and where should the configuration leave? Teammates have not restarted Claude since cloning. That's possible. Tools are only discovered at the connection time. The server binary was not committed alongside the config. The MCP program was vended into the repo. The server was configured as user scope in Claude rather than project scope. The teammate lacked the server credentials. No. The server was configured at user scope. Okay, this might probably be it. This might probably be it. Yeah. You are costing out the job to extract structured metadata from 200,000 document archive with no interactive consumer. A colleague asks what the message batches API actually promises before you commit. Characterization is accurate. Cool. So you're causing the job to extract structured metadata. That's crazy from the 200 interactive consumers. Okay. I could just say no idea. So I haven't actually used that. So the 5th one is like an open slot. So I'm just going to put no idea. So it knows that I don't know that at all. So an invoice extraction pipeline reports 97 overall accuracy on the validation run, and the product owner wants to auto approve everything above a confidence cutoff starting Monday. What must the team verify first? And the accuracy broken down by document type by field says aggregate figure can hide a segment file was an average. A few short examples in the extraction prompt cover every file. Say data prompting will leave 97. the confidence cutoff is at least 99% since the stricter threshold is safe. The model version is pinned since I think a confidence cutoff. Let's see. Okay. So last question, or I think is that all? I think that is all. Let's see. Okay. Final question. Your support coordinator verified a customer's identity with the get customer early in the conversation, then spawned a billing investigation sub-agent. The sub-agent immediately tries to verify the customer because he has no idea who the customer is, why. So this a bug in the tax tool is preventing the SDK shared memory from replicating to the sub-agent. The sub-agent system prompt is overriding and masking the conversation history inherited. The session was not resumed with resume. Sub-agents run with isolated context and never inherit. Yes, this is it. Okay. I had to burn some tokens from my brain as well. But yeah, so this has been running for 6 minutes, right? So in less than 10 minutes, I've been able to answer all the questions. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so it's scoring me now, and it's going to determine like where I need help at or what I need help with. Okay, so let's take a look at it. So it's still doing its thing. So I scored 100 in D1, 100%. D2, I have so I scored 775, which is actually like not bad, but it's across 20 questions. So I don't want to blow my horn too early. So that is strong baseline. Remember this before any studying. This code maps where you already stand. So yeah, it knows my strengths. So we conducted this. I had 100% here. I had 75 here, 100 here. Prompt engineering, that's crazy. I had 25%. So it now found my weak spots. So domain 4, I got one wrong. Domain 4 again for JSON schema, I got one wrong. Domain 4 again. Okay, that's a prompt engineering domain. So it sees all the topics and where so it gave me all the answers and everything. So this is where I'm at now. I'm done with the onboarding. I'm done with the diagnostic. Now it wants to create a study plan so that I can bump up my current level to the next level. So next step, build your study plan across the 5 domains. So it's going to score it with the exam weights and stuff like that. So if I click continue, it's going to create a study plan for me, and then it's going to create actual grounded presentations for each of those topics, right? And I'm going to show you what they look like and how interactive they are and how it's going to help me prepare better for the exam. So why did we build this, right? For the sprints, Manoj already mentioned most of it, but I'm just going to explain again. For the sprints, every Friday, we meet for like an hour just to find something we can build with Claude, strengthen our knowledge across all domains. And then during the weekend, you get like maybe a homework or something to take home with and build. And then Monday, we meet again for some sort of like accountability checkup to see how far you've gone and stuff like that. Now, within the week, we want you to play around with this tool, use the Learning OS to better yourself and better prepare for the tests, right? So that by next week, we meet again. And before you're done using this, myself, if I'm done using this in 15 days, I should be very confident going for the exam. Because I'm already scoring based on the benchmark, I'm already above 720. But I would still like to keep going at it till I'm 100% across all boards, if possible. So you see, it has created a study plan. So this is the priority. So because obviously D4 is where my baseline is the weakest. So it's going to drill me up to 70%. So it has 5 topics to hit under this domain. And then it will move to context management and reliability because I have 67 there. It's going to drill me to get above 70%. And then for the tool design, I'm already ready, but it's going to close the gap for me. For this other one, it's just going to do maintenance stuff. So the next step is to start drilling on this. So I want to show you what the drilling looks like. It's going to run the engine on my weakest domain, teaching me as I go, unlike the mock, because the mock was more like it's going to quiz me and give me feedback. But this one is going to give me explanations and everything. So I'm just going to say continue. If you notice, all I just keep saying is continue, continue, continue. It's just going to guide me, right? It's going to hold me by the hand, take me through all these topics that might seem a bit scary, but trust me, it's not, especially when you have Claude right by your side to guide you through everything. So now we're going to the learning drill. I want to show you how it'll take me from 25% up until how the steps that's going to do that. So it's going to teach me, it's going to give me a quiz for every topic, and it's going to record like my new states, and then it's going to re-rank. After every quiz, it's going to create a new rank, right? Maybe it's going to be from 25% to, let's say, 30% on all of that. So, okay, so just let it run. Okay, so picking D4, few shot, you missed the baseline. So I'm going to ask you to create this. So you have a way for it to create. So everything you're seeing here can actually be displayed as a presentation, right? But because I'm used to like terminal, I usually like do this, but I'm going to assume like most people that are going to be using this are not so familiar with terminal. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this is the lesson, few shot prompting, and this is the explanation for it. And these are some exam traps. So adjusting temperature to fix inconsistent formatting, that's a pattern problem, not a sampling problem. Writing longer prompts, more emphatic instruction. They get reinterpreted every run. Examples that are all easy cases, no edge cases. It means that there's no judgment gain, and treating more examples are strictly better. So this is actually good. Okay. So it's creating the design presentation. Okay. So right now, Claude, the study partner, is creating the presentation slide. So I'm going to just go through it, then answer some questions, and then it's going to re-rank my current percentage or my current strengths. So I think it's almost done. Template loaded, building a dense self-pack study guide on few short like prompting, observing the design pattern. Okay. So as you can see, it's just created that, and it's going to open it right after it's done. Okay, so the doc has been written. It's running some verifiers. Okay.
So while who's adding, I want to add something that you can run this learning operating system with your Claude desktop app or your whatever interface has access to your laptop, right? So if you don't like to use terminal, then you can work with Claude desktop app and find that Claude learning operating system.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not really familiar with like the terminal, you can always use it on your Claude desktop. So you see what I'm talking about. So it then creates a slide for you that you can actually read through, go slide by slide, right? So the same prompt, but three different answers. And this was actually the question that you got the last time. So it explains everything. Demonstrating beats describing, right? So put what example paired in the prompts. So the model learns the underlying pattern, analyzes it, and the exam treats this as the single most effective technique for consistent actionable output. So it explains some of the reasons why 2 to 4 examples make sense than being more pros. So 2 to 4 examples is sweet spot, talks about all of this stuff. So the most valuable example is this. So invoice with no payment time stated anywhere, then the output is this, right? So one demonstrated null case beats any paragraph telling the model not to make things up, to do this and this. And so these are wrong answers. Adjusting the temperature is a wrong answer. Writing longer emphatic instructions is a wrong answer. So it explains that to you. So recognize the fault to stem. If you that extract inconsistently or a reviewer that cannot separate accepted patterns from the root problem. So this is a credited answer. Add 2 to 4 complete input and output examples and all of that kind of stuff. 3 numbers, 1 behavior. Count 2 to 4 as targeted examples. Pick edge cases for ambiguous cases with reasoning, and show null to demonstrate absent data. Right? Show, don't tell. So that is like the recap of everything. So if I understand this, I can then go back to say, okay, when you're ready, we pick the D4 drill back where we post 5 questions on few short prompting. Just say ready to start. So I just go ahead and say ready. Then it's going to give me questions that are from the bank of mock exam questions relating to domain 4, section 2 about the few short prompting. And then I'll now pick my answers. And then it's going to rank it, it's going to score it and say, okay, now you've moved from 25% to this percent. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. Your invoice extraction pipeline returns this date in one run, this date in the next run, and this date in the third, despite the paragraph of formatting instructions in the prompt. The schema accepts all as strings. What's the most effective fix? So add 2 to 4 worked examples to show showing invoices mapped to the exact dates format. The last time I said expand the formatting, make it more precise, more emphatic, why I asked, the answer was this. So now I've become better. I understand why I have to add 2 to 4. So that's how the self-paced study allows you learn from your mistakes with guided presentation. So this is one of the, like I said, this is one of the best assets that comes with the learning OS, right? So it's just going to dream me across 5 questions. So I've answered the first one, you see, correct. And notice this is the exact question you missed on the baseline mock. You pick C then. So you see, it actually evolves with me. It knows me, right? It understands my profile and everything I failed and why I failed it. So it's going to ensure that anything I miss is going to teach me about it. So why A is correct, inconsistent formatting despite detailed process, classic few short signal. A worked example pair pins that pattern and the model learns it instead of reinterpreting instruction on each run. Why others fail, C adds more prose, which is exactly what is already failing. And B treats a pattern problem as a sampling problem and all of that stuff. So temperature doesn't teach a format. D also swaps the model without addressing the missing demonstrator. So the drift also follows. So question 2, a colleague setting up a contract extraction prompt asks how many worked examples to include, reasoning that if examples help, 30 must help more. What guidance matches the best practice? Include at least 10 so every clause type appears at least once. One canonical example is optimal. Roughly 2 to 4 targeted examples. Returns diminish and can turn negative beyond about 6. As many as it has fits in the context window. So you see, like I said, the questions are also very tricky, right? So if you don't know that domain or you haven't really gone through it, you actually fail. So 2 to 4. Let's see. So all it takes to be honest is like 1 hour every day. I mean, after you've done the onboarding and the diagnostics, this part is just something you do every day to get to over 70%. Your review board keeps flagging a decade-old callback heavy model as defect on every PR that it touches, even though the team has declared that pattern accepted and load-bearing. Meanwhile, it correctly flags genuinely dangerous code elsewhere. How do you teach it the difference? Add an instruction, do not flag legacy patterns the team has already reviewed and accepted as load-bearing. Exclude the legacy from review entirely so the noise disappears. Maintain a list of path files whose findings the pipeline side discards. Add a contrast pair, the accepted legacy pattern left on flag, beside a genuine issue flag. Okay, so let's take a look at this. How do you teach it? Do we add a contrast pair, the accepted left on flag, beside a genuine issue flag with reasoning for each? I think, yeah, that's better. Okay, correct. 3 in a row. The contrast pair teaches judgment. The model can generalize novel pattern. Just show the scary but accepted pattern deliberately, not flag, next to a real issue that is flagged, reasoning for each. While the others fail, A is the prose model that reinterprets every run. B removes the real review coverage, and C suppresses the symptoms downstream. Okay, so question 4. Your pipeline extracts a payment terms field from purchase order. About a fifth of the document never mention payment terms, and for those, the model conveniently outputs net 30, a plausible invention. The prompt already says never fabricate values. What is the most effective addition? Repeat the anti-fabrication instruction at both the start and end of the prompt? No. Add a worked example of the document with no payment terms whose output show the field as null. Post-process the output by cross-checking this, no. Raise the stakes in the prompt by stating that fabricated values will corrupt. Okay, add a worked example. So few short prompting is like gold. Okay. Finally, last one. Okay, you have room in the prompt for 3 worked examples for a form extraction task. Corpus has clean single page form. Scan forms with field relocated by different vendors and forms where 2 fields are easily confused. The team may proposes using 3 clean. Obviously, correct forms so the examples are unambiguous. What's the better selection? Okay. Include the vendor variant and convertible field cases with their reasoning. Says easy cases teach the model little. Yeah, that makes sense. Use the three clean forms as proposed because tricky question example risks teaching the model to produce ambiguous output. Nope. Use one clean and duplicate it 3 times. Nope. Skip examples entirely. So I'll include the vendor variants and confusable field cases with their reasoning. Says each case, easy cases teach the model little. So yeah. So just like that, just from creating one asset, I've been able to score, I'll say over 90%. If this goes, then that's 100%. And that's exactly what happens. So once it sees that I've nailed this part, it goes to the next domain, right? And that's how it keeps going. I keep creating. So that way I don't end up relearning things I already know, right? It's only going to help me focus on domains and questions that I don't know about, right? So I'm just going to let it keep. I'm just going to let this one run. Yeah. All right, correct. That's 5 out of 5 on D4. Okay. So I went from 0% to 100% in one day. So that's a 5 out of 5. Values of example concretes in ambiguous and edge cases resolve the visible reasoning. So yeah. So it has called me 100%. It added the dates in my progress file so that tomorrow when it's like checking me up again, when I run this again, it'll know like my progress. That okay, I have actually cleared out with this part. So yeah, that is basically how it works. I'm going to show you what next. It's going to say, okay, we're done with this domain. Let's focus on this other domain. But I'm just going to leave it at this. I hope with this, I've been able to walk you through the onboarding, the diagnostic part, the drilling part, because it just finished drilling me. That's how I'm able to answer 5 in a row, right? And you saw it because we went through the presentation. I read everything myself. And now I have a better understanding whenever I come across any question that kind of links to few short prompting, I would know how to follow up with that. So see, drilling complete. Here's your summary. Strong work, Andy, and meaningful. You return the exact question you missed, and that, and you turn the exact question you missed on the baseline into a correct answer. One honest note before you decide what next. Your default drill scores 100%. That's of a single topic and 5 questions. Your baseline weakness in default is 25%. That actually came from other topics like D403 and D405 because I missed questions there. So D4 is not really yet covered, which is true. It's just one topic, which is the few short example. Calling it done now will be exactly the trap that you studied in D4. So my recommendation is to keep going in D4, but we're just going to take it to the next topic, which is JSON schemas and tool use, which you missed at the baseline, but it's your call. So I can be like, okay, yeah, let's keep drilling on these other ones, or let's move over to the next domain, or let's stop here for now. So I'm just going to click stop here for now. And then it knows like, okay, great. It's going to save my progress. And tomorrow when I come back, we're going to start off from D404, which is this. So everything has been saved for now. So I'm currently at the learn and drill stage. So D402 done. I haven't really gotten to the point where it can now run the main mock exam. And when I pass it over 70%, it's now going to say, okay, you can go write the exam. So I'm not even gotten to that point yet. It's still learning and drilling me so far. So this session, I was drilled in few short prompting. I scored 5/5. And it built a review deck, the deck we went through, and all of that stuff. So you're moving well, and your weakest domain is already getting stronger. See you in the next drill. So that is exactly what a session with this very amazing learning OS can take you from just a curious person that's trying to pursue a certification to an actual expert or to someone that goes up and gets the certificate. So guys, I think that's it for me. Okay, over to you, Manoj.
That was amazing, guys. So if you want to get access to this tool or our cohort, it's part of our cohort basically. So I'll drop the link. So see you on 7th August. Luckily our day watch. We will onboard you on this learning OS and everything else so that you're good to go. And then we keep meeting and helping each other learn better. I want all of us to be certified as soon as possible. So yeah, let me know if you have further questions.
I see. Someone asked if there's a voice feature which explains the question. So we haven't put that yet. I think we want to just keep it text for now, right? Maybe down the line, we probably have that, right? So it's something that we can look into implement in the future. But for now, we just want to keep it at text. And also we want to allow you to see the presentation just like we did just a few seconds ago.
There's one more question.
Okay, what's the question?
If you get the tool today, do you wait till August to have access to the tool and the guide? So everything will start on August 7th. This is just a demonstration. We are still working on it. And it is working like really good. And we spent around hundreds of hours to build it, to get all the information, to prepare for mock exams. And it's still like it's still the version one, but it's working end to end. By August 7th, we will have a very competitive friend.
Yeah, exactly. And just to add to that, to be honest, this tool is something that even if you don't show up for any of the accountability or live session, it's something you can actually take from day one and end up like ready to go for the examination by the fourth week. The only reason why we introduced the live build on Friday and the accountability is just to ensure that everyone is also following along and we don't get consumed by our day-to-day activities and stuff like that. So the main reason why we want you to have this tool is so that you can pass the certification. And the main reason why we're adding those other two things within the week is just so that you can have some sort of activity as a community. So we can all grow together, we can all learn together. If you have an issue, maybe using the tool or using anything, we can always get feedback and just improve it as we go.
One more question. Are there links for us to prepare for the August 7th start date? You can register right now and we'll help you register for free for the Partner Academy account so that you can watch video. There are lots of tutorials on Partner Academy itself. It's a gated portal specifically for partners from Anthropic directly. So you get lots of PDFs, lots of data, like it's endless. That's why we started building this because there are lots of files, lots of PDFs,
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah.
web pages. So yeah. So, but if you
Yeah.
want to start now, like, that will be hard for us to say no. But 7th is the big start date. This is kind of a pre-session for that cohort. That's why we stopped teaching about loop engineering and those kind of things for this week and next week. We'll update you guys about any new information from Anthropic or a tool upgradations. But keep signing in it. If you just want the tool, we can sell directly tool also. Because that's our solution for the exam. But tool is part of a preparation kit over the access to SNCF. For now, maybe after 3 months, we say, okay, let's get our tools from our website. It's like a SaaS tool. But for now, we want to prepare for ourselves also. That's why we want her. That's why we have some accountability. Otherwise, we keep building sales and working for our clients and those kind of things. But yeah, if you need the tool immediately, we can also give you that. Once you buy the 97 plan, the sprint, we can hop on one-on-one call and help you set up. But we prioritize, okay, do it on 7th so that you have some time to go through all other information. What kind of certification you want to go ahead, because this is for architect right now, but you will include all 3 mock papers and stuff also.
Another thing I wanted to, there are a lot of resources from Anthropic, just like Manoj said, a lot of pages and documents. But so we try to create this learning OS to have everything all in one brain, all in one chat, right? So it's not referring, if you notice, when I filled some domain question, it didn't say, go read this resource or go and read this. It knows all of those because obviously it's Claude, right? At the end of the day, it's Anthropic. It has all the domain knowledge of everything. So it creates the presentation based on everything that's there in the documentation combined with our team. If you've been to our work sessions, that team is actually what I use to teach. So that's basically it. So we just kind of compressed all the documents into one brain, created an OS from it, and now we're using it to pass the exam. My goal or our goal is that everyone that comes for that sprint ends up getting certified. If you don't get certified, it's probably because you didn't show up, you didn't take accountability, or you didn't use the tools, and that's fine. But what will happen is that for the next month, we will probably still give you access to the tool and everything for at least the next month so that you can also prepare better. But if you take accountability, you actually show up for these meetings like you guys showed up today, that tells a lot about your discipline and your commitment. And you're able to use this tool. Don't try to cheat when you're trying to learn. with the tool, right? Actually be honest enough. If you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know, right? In fact, if you don't know any of the options, rather than just guessing, because you might guess the right one and not even know why you picked that question, just say, I don't know. So it uses that to prepare the slides to actually teach you. So if you notice from the demo, in case of anyone that didn't come early enough, so what happened was from the beginning, I went through an onboarding phase. The AI asked me my name, why am I trying to get the certificate, and what day do I want to get the certification. After that, it tried to diagnose my baseline. It wanted to know what level I'm at, right? So it gave me about 20 questions. A lot of you saw me attempt those 20 questions. Out of the 20 questions, some of them just came to me naturally. Like I just saw this, I know, okay, this is the answer. Some of them I had to read them like 2 or 3 times, and I had to be like, two of the answers look similar, and okay. So I ended up picking some wrong answers, right? So it took the weakest domains, created presentations, taught me the topic that I failed, and then give me 5 questions around that topic. And I blazed through the 5 of them. You guys all saw it. I'm sure if you saw me miss that question, you actually saw me learn. And I'm sure you also answered the 5 questions, or you're okay with the 5 questions that I picked. If not, this tool will not resonate with you. So in real time, you've seen how this tool can actually take you from not knowing something to knowing it and passing all the questions in that topic. So I'm very confident if I write the exam tomorrow and I see a few short example question, I'm going to blaze through all of them. And that is just one topic. So imagine how many more topics, if I dedicate 1 hour a day to answer all the questions, like I'll get certified tomorrow. I'm just kidding. But you get the point.
Yeah,
So
exam
yeah,
is competitive. It's
very.
the tool and cohort is just to keep you, let's say, in preparation mode, and to help you, okay, how to use this tool to cover the topics which you don't know yet. It will help you memorize it, help you practice those questions more, because there are lots of questions. There are 4 different certifications, there are 4 different arenas. So we cannot teach every single thing. That's why we build it, so that it keeps improving as per your current knowledge, because you will be having different domain expertise than Andy or me. In our last 3 months workshop, we realized that we are going to be ahead than our audience. So that's why we created this tool to like capture all the information at one place, and so that you can learn at your own pace. So I have, this is the Saharan.ai/sprint is the cohort registration. You can register here right now, and I'll see you on the other end. And if you are not part of our WhatsApp group, join that WhatsApp group. You can always reach out to me on WhatsApp, on school, on LinkedIn, and let me know. I'll keep sharing more about certifications, the tool, and cohort on my LinkedIn and in school also. So yeah, stay tuned. When will the tool also have the developer track? I think we'll try to add everything before we launch our cohort. That's why we took around 1-2 weeks so that we can cover everything. All right.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.